at Nevada Southern Detention Center. To accept this call, press 5. To refuse this call, hang up now. To block this call and all future calls, press 9.
You made me forget what number to push to accept it. Was it 5? I hope it's 5. You were talking to me.
I'm sorry.
Hello, this call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking now.
Mr. Davis.
Hi, Todd. How are you?
Oh, Mrs. Davis, how are you?
We're both here, brother.
Hello, Todd. Is this Todd Engle?
Hey, how are you? It is.
I've heard a lot about you.
Hey,
it's nice to hear your voice.
Well, it's good to talk to you. Thanks for all the cards and support.
You're welcome, brother. We're grateful that you stand.
Well, if I don't, who will?
Yeah, that's true.
Hey,
and also...
my attorney...
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about your attorney. How's it going?
My attorney on Wednesday gave me permission to talk with you guys and some others that have a media presence.
You bet.
So,
Markowitz.
Warren Markowitz. So, just to bring you guys up to speed where we are, the judge has, after, almost 3 months, finally started to rule on some of our motions. And the government is filing its final reply, hopefully its final reply by today. And then my attorney finally was able to access Larry Wooten's second memo on Monday.
Woo, woo.
Praise God. He's the FBI whistleblower, right?
Yeah.
He's the BLM. He was the lead investigator for the Bureau of Land Management for almost 3 years. Who wrote Wooten 1, the first memo, and now has Wooten 2 out, his second one, which is a response to the government's motions against me and CLIVEN's group for a motion for reconsideration. So, as it stands, my attorney says, quote, that Wooten 2 is an indictment against the BLM's policies, procedures, and operations, and makes Wooten 1 look like a bedtime story, and Wooten 2 is the Amityville Horror Picture Show.
Well, praise God, he's got his hands on it. Praise God.
Yeah, the government is in... No, we don't have our hands on it. We were only allowed to read it and take notes.
Oh, I see. You don't have a copy. I see, okay.
It's a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
They do not want it out of their possession. But I do, a little birdie told me that we do have a copy of it into some allies' hands, and we're hoping that here in the next few weeks it's going to be released to the public.
Great.
Okay, great.
So where we are right now, why I called you guys, I don't know how far your reach is, but this is what we need to do. Up to this point, Wooten 1 and Wooten 2, both of his memos, are what's called hearsay. And the government keeps saying, well, that's just hearsay, and we haven't had a chance to cross-examine him on the witness stand. Well, as we all know, Myrie, the U.S. attorney that was prosecuting me, Myrie, during my trial, had Wooten conspired with Wooten's boss to have Wooten removed from the case and have his entire investigation confiscated from him and had him transferred out of the area and was told, don't talk about the case. So he wrote Wooten 1 there during CLIVEN and the boys' trial, and now wrote Wooten 2. What we are now attempting to do, and why my attorney's giving me permission to talk to you folks, is we are attempting to raise money to depose Larry Wooten. Put him in a room under oath and have a deposition with him, so that his memos are no longer hearsay, they are new evidence. The likelihood of what Larry Wooten would say under oath would probably lead to us requiring to depose Larry Wooten's boss, CLIVEN, who works for the BLM and is a high-ranking supervisor. that may lead to deposing Stephen Myrie, the U.S. attorney, former U.S. attorney, that was prosecuting us, that entered into a criminal conspiracy with Wooten's boss to have him removed from the case during my trial. So this is where we are. They want to play hardball, and they want to see. I'm their $500 mount on the wall. They illegally shot me and stuffed me and hung me on the wall, and I'm all they have to show for it, other than Burleson, for $500 million.
Yeah, right.
They don't want to let me go.
Yep.
So if they won't fold and they keep trying to up the ante and keep me in here, then we're going to call their bluff, and we're going to attempt to depose Larry Wooten.
Well, how much money do you think it would cost to depose him? How much money we talking about?
We're attempting to raise $10,000. We'll need my attorney to be probably 2 days deposing him, then airfare, hotels. We don't know if my attorney has to go up there to Boise or get Wooten down here. But this is, as CLIVEN and I have talked, CLIVEN was a little upset not to be able to get all of this stuff exposed, because they ultimately just dismissed him before the truth really came out.
Right.
There's a lot of motions out there that never got answered because the case got dismissed, and then Mel and Davey and them got dismissed by the government. So there's a lot of truth that has never been released to the public. So what we are attempting to do now is to start getting what actually happened here. From what we understand, it looks like the leaders of the BLM left the facility, left the compound on the 11th, and left all the mercenaries in place. And it's starting to look like these were truly mercenaries and not actual BLM employees. We're starting to put some pieces together here. So this is what Larry Wooten knows of, and we would like to depose him and get the truth from him under oath on video. And at that point, we enter in as new evidence Larry Wooten's deposition, which would precipitate and force the judge to release me due to new evidence. Okay, so at that point, and it looks like all of the other guys that have taken deals and are waiting sentencing, everything's hinging on what she does with me. At that point, it would be mandatory that she releases me, and she would almost certainly have to begin to vacate plea bargains. Certainly on Drexler and Parker, who had to take misdemeanors after 2 sham trials, they were going to be put into a 3rd trial. They finally just said, I'm not going to put my family through this thing. Well, now we find out that through the first 2 trials, the government hid large amounts of exculpatory evidence that would have vindicated us due to the fact that the BLM and the FBI had sniper teams around the Bundy Ranch, and I have around the Bundy Ranch on the 5th and the 6th, a week before the protest. I have the range cards where they took range distance readings to CLIVEN's front door. I have the locations where the snipers were placed on the hill at night. I have the emails of it. I have their equipment list, their intermediate, what they carried that night, intermediate range rifles, night vision goggles, infrared spotlights, thermal imaging devices. And they were attempting to get the shot to kill CLIVEN, it looks like. And then they also had, about 2 miles away, a 6-man quick reaction force, heavily armed with automatic weapons, ready to raid the ranch at any moment. Now, this is the 5th and the 6th. No protesters had arrived. There had been no violence. All the threat assessments said they were not violent people, and these mercenaries were attempting to kill them.
Yep.
These are the things that Larry Wooten knows of. Dan Love, we have some evidence trickling out on his email chain. He literally is sending out emails with a bottom caption in quotations talking about, he would send his email out in the subject matter, and then at the bottom in quotations, I should have brought it over here, to be a warrior is not just a choice of a man. And it's just this crazy stuff about being like a combat warrior.
Yeah. Jason Patrick recommended a book to me called Rise of the Warrior Cop, The Militarization of America's Police Forces by Radley Balco, and it really sheds light onto the mentality, the terrible satanic mentality of these cops. I mean, they really don't, they're not protecting and serving. They think of us as the enemy.
It's exactly what's going on here in this environment now. I mean, there's so much more I could tell you here in this, but only 20 minutes.
And Todd, I don't know how long we have, whether it's 15 or 20 minutes, but just real quickly, you are aware that John Lamb, who we relied on quite a bit for his voice for political prisoners, you realize he was in a car crash, I'm sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're apprised of that every hour.
Okay.
I know about his surgeries, and I know about the car crash, and we're fully involved in that.
Okay.
All right.
We're keeping him in our prayers. Is this going to help Jerry DeLoomis too?
Yes. If we end up finding new evidence that shows that this was a mercenary hit, and they withheld all this evidence, it looks like they'll probably have to vacate everybody's plea bargains.
Oh, good. Well, okay.
And that's why it's so important to get Larry Wooten into a deposition.
Okay, so Aaron and I don't directly get involved in like receiving funds, although we can certainly point people to fundraisers. But let me share with you real quickly. We've seen some absolute nightmares of betrayals of the human heart and betrayals of so-called best friends of when money gets involved. I'm sure you're aware of some of the things, but do you have somebody? I know all about it. Okay, so do you have somebody on the outside that you really, really trust to handle monies for this purpose? Is it your lawyer? Is Markowitz the proper person to send the money to if we start pointing?
I have two things for you.
Okay.
That I'm going to give you. The money in the fundraisers that we've done for Markowitz go directly to Markowitz or to my sister, who then disperses it to Warren.
Okay.
So if people want to send Warren money via PayPal, it's paypal.me/WRMESQ.
Gotcha.
Okay. And if they want to send him money directly, his address is Warren, the Markowitz Law Firm, and his address is 72, I can't see very well in here, 7250 West Azure Drive, Suite 140-100, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89130.
Gotcha.
And if people want to call him, his office phone number is 702-749-5831, and they can call him. He's been great. The guy has literally saved my life.
I know he's represented Jeffrey Winehouse very well too. He comes very highly recommended. We certainly appreciate all of his efforts. Yeah. So he has read the Wooten 2 memo. He's totally read it and took notes on it.
He's read it. He's took notes on it. He came in and briefed me on it on Monday or on Wednesday, and I'm not allowed to say what's in it, but it is an absolute indictment against the Bureau of Land Management, the prosecutor's office here in Las Vegas. If we can get Wooten deposed, he seems to feel that this is the type of evidence that would take down not just the BLM, but possibly the Department of Interior.
Praise God.
It's that egregious, the activities that they were participating in. So it's very important that we get him under oath, and these memos are no longer hearsay. And this is what the government is going to absolutely have cardiac arrest. They know that if we put him under oath, it possibly could lead to depositions of his boss, Stephen Myrie, Neil Corns. Everybody knows who Neil Corns is, I'm sure, by now.
No, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, Neil Corns worked for Harry Reid for 9 years as a senior advisor. He then left in 2009 to work for the Bureau of Land Management. He worked his way up to deputy director of the BLM, and he then The week before the Bundy Ranch incident, he became the director of the Bureau of Land Management. He then is a part of appointing Dan Love and spurring him on to raise the Army. Also, I have my investigator, who's a former FBI agent, has in his possession Harry Reid's son, Rory Reid, who was an attorney and who used to be a county commissioner in Las Vegas, who is now an attorney. He has a contract between Harry Reid's son, Rory, and a Chinese solar company to put a solar farm out on the Bundy Ranch. So this is a massive conspiracy between Harry Reid's son, a Chinese solar company, Neil Corns, who is Harry Reid's former advisor, and then Harry Reid then goes and assists and recommends Gloria Navarro to chief judgeship of the District of Nevada and ensures that she is the judge that handles our case. These are the things we want to expose, the corruption that really took place here.
It would be a blessing from God to see all these devils get justice rain down from heaven. I mean, this is sounds like blockbuster nuclear stuff, just like you described. I pray to God that that the funds can be raised and this man be put on the stand and all of this be brought out to the public to expose these devils.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Well, that's done. So we need for you guys to pray for Larry Wooten's safety. We're all very concerned about it.
Right.
At this point.
Right.
We're even getting to the point now we're going to be concerned about my attorney's safety. And then my investigator, who's almost 30 years as an FBI agent, who is taking down FBI agents by the handful around here and getting people released from this prison due to the improprieties and misconduct by prosecutors in the FBI. They are already messing with him. And then he told me that upon my release, I'll have to be very concerned for my safety. I have a book coming out as soon as I can get out of here. It's about 80% written. But so just we just need prayers and we need some financial support so we can get Larry Wooten under oath.
No, we'll certainly keep we'll keep the whistleblower Wooten, yourself, and your FBI does your FBI investigator, is he named publicly, or is he keeping his privacy at this point in time?
No, everybody knows who he is. His name is Jeff Danek. He lives in Florida. He is always on Fox News. Oh,
okay. Jeff Danek. D-A-N-E-K?
Yep.
Danek?
D-A-N-I-K.
D-A-N-I-K. Okay, I'll check him out. And if he's exposing corruption in the FBI, he's certainly somebody I want to know about. I'm very hard on the FBI. I've got several books about the corruption of that organization. That organization entraps and destroys families, entraps innocent men and women, and destroys families all over this country. So if he knows about, they've literally become a criminal syndicate. Yes, amen. Amen to that, Todd. Amen. Yeah, it's sad. They've become a criminal syndicate. They have their hands in a lot of these dastardly deeds that go on around this country. They're just a criminal organization, and they should be indicted under RICO. Yes, most of them put. Amen. So, amen. I couldn't say. These are the things. These are the things we're going to expose through Wooten, through my book, and we're going to call these people on the carpet and get this thing, at least exposed. I don't know if we can get it turned around, but we can get it exposed. Right. Well, we'll certainly do our best to get the word out. I appreciate it. I'm going to give some other folks a call that have a media presence and see if we can get some money raised to get Wooten under oath and really start getting to the bottom of this thing. Amen. Well, we'll be on the lookout for your book, Todd, and we'll keep all of those individuals in our prayers, and including John Lamb. Many of us are concerned that John Lamb's car accident was not an accident, but the Lord has saved his life. It appears he's in recovery, and he's got the prayers of many people across this country. So we certainly will keep you in our prayers. And thank you for the phone call. We'll do our best to get this message out and bring justice to these evildoers that are just putting innocent people in prison all over this country, and they need to be held accountable. That's the problem. Nobody's ever held accountable anymore. That's the problem. I agree. Well, thank you guys for everything you do. I'll try to give you a call here in a week or two if Lord willing, I'm not in here in a week or two. Amen. Amen. Saying that, but right. Amen. All right. God bless you, Todd. I'll keep in touch with you. Okay. Okay. Bye-bye. All right, that was Todd Engel needing to raise money to expose the evildoers and to bring justice to some of these people who are entrapping innocent people. To be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about Todd. Is there anything you want to say, babe, before we close this audio down?
We really, the Bundy case in Nevada and Oregon, those were kind of our secondary focus. They weren't our first, so we really don't have a lot of information to offer on that.
Okay, but I know John was all over it. I mean, I consider John Lamb the expert. Of course, he's dealing with very, serious matters with a car accident. So please keep John Lamb in your prayers, and we'll do our best to get the word out regarding Todd Engle. So I ask that you please share this with other people who may have more information than us, so that they can share it, and then everybody can make their own decisions about what's going on. And I can say that in my conversations with Warren Markowitz, that while he's not a Christian, he does appear to be doing his dead level best to represent Jeffrey Winehouse, and I know he's also the lawyer for Todd Engle. And so we pray for the safety and the success of Warren Markowitz, pray for the safety and the success of Wooten, this FBI investigator, Danik, and also Todd Engle, and John Lamb's health and recovery. Thank you for your prayers, and God bless.